Hey, it's Ted Nash, and I'm still here in Atlanta, Georgia. It's been my home for about 11 weeks, and it's been sort of my safe haven and creative cauldron during this pandemic. About once a week, my bike rides take me through the winding paths of Freedom Park, a project with a legacy of deep conflicts. Along the path are large posters depicting civil rights events from the 1960s. Experiencing these signs is an inspiring reminder of the great history this city represents in the struggle for equal rights and racial equality. I mentioned in my previous video about my parents' activism and our friend Hakeem Jamal, a militant civil rights leader and cousin of Malcolm X. Our families got quite close and even went on vacations together. Unfortunately, circumstances, including the ultimate assassination of Jamal in the early 1970s, led to the end of our get-togethers. Dorothy, Jamal's widow, moved the family down to Atlanta, and we lost touch. After I posted my video, I received a very surprising email. It was from Donnie, Jamal's son, who I haven't seen since I was probably 9 years old. Donnie is now 62, and he's a retired truck driver. He had seen my post, and he reached out to me. We decided to meet up in Piedmont Park and say hello. We sat for almost 2 hours reliving our childhood friendship from the 1960s and talking about all the time that has passed and the decades that we haven't seen each other since we probably were single digit in age. And I was so glad to see how politically active and aware Donnie is. And I know we're going to get together at one point before I go back to New York. And I'm looking forward to that meeting, which I'm sure is going to be rich with motivational possibilities. Another person who became a regular in the movement and at our gatherings was the actress Jean Seberg, pictured here with my mother. It's not the most flattering shot of either of them, but you get the idea. We got to know her through Hakeem Jamal, and Jean Seberg is the subject of a recent film simply called Seberg. The film focuses on the FBI's intent to discredit Jean Seberg, as she was a deep supporter of black rights. A review on RogerEbert.com closed by saying, "There's certainly a better version of the story that has yet to be told." And if anyone's interested, I happen to have the better story. Another character in our lives during the 1960s was a man everyone just called Brother Lenny. He was a member of the Black Panther Party, and he was a founder of CAP, or Community Alert Patrol, which was set up to monitor the activities of the police department. And this was 55 years ago. It's interesting to be reminded of this during a time of intense protests following recent actions of police brutality. My brother Lenny was an amateur painter, and my parents hosted an exhibit in our backyard, which drew people from the movement, as well as dignitaries like Dick Van Dyke, next to my mother in front of our kitchen. And with his back to us is Brother Lenny. As a thank you, Brother Lenny gave my father one of his paintings, a wild piece called Charcoal Alley, which hung in our living room for decades, a symbol of brotherhood between my father and Brother Lenny. It now hangs above my couch in New York City. Every time I look at this expressive painting, I think about how hard people worked in the 1960s and how little progress that we have at this point to show for that. So I really hope that you can encourage your family and your friends to be more active, get out and vote, to register to vote, especially our young people. It's so important more than ever that we are active and we get out November 3rd. So thank you so much for listening to this.